Okay, so this is a trying to help with the firing pin problem on an M1969, or at least a suspected firing pin problem. First thing you do is you have the takedown button here. Let's push the takedown button. It's going to allow us to pull the bolt out. Sometimes it's a little sticky. Okay, so we have the bolt out. Something we'll want to check is that our firing pin can move freely. And when I say freely, I mean it can move basically under its own weight. It's basically loose in the channel. If it's not loose in the channel, we'll remove the pin right here on this side and we'll push it that way. It's important when you're working the bolt, don't let the bolt rotate. Right now it's in this position. If it drops down to this lower position, you'll have to rotate the bolt handle again back to this position to get it to go back in the gun, which is difficult because there's not a whole lot to grab from. So try not to let it jump down. So go ahead and push that pin out. It's fairly tight, so it's a pin punch to push it out. If you have the cleaning kit for your gun, you can use the cleaning kit. If not, hardware store has a pin punch. So you'll remove the firing pin, and you're going to basically look right up in this area here, right up in the top, because what it does is this channel here is the stop for the bolt's rearward travel. So every time you cycle the bolt, if you hit the back stop, which you normally do, which causes the shell to eject using the firing pin, the bolt hits right here on this pocket and it peens over this surface, and that surface gets in the way of the firing pin from coming backwards. So it basically prevents it from sliding backwards on the forward stroke, and that will prevent the cartridge from rising up into the bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and dummy this bolt so that it's stuck in the forward position so we can show you what that looks like, what that failure looks like. Okay, so what I've done is I put a little bit of paper in the back of this, just a little piece of scrap paper to keep the firing pin forward, because this firing pin is not retracted by any sort of mechanical interlock or anything like that. All it is this little takedown button here on the side. What it does, it rubs on the side of the firing pin to pull it backwards. So it has just that little bit of pressure to cause it to stay back. So if there's any kind of burr or anything, it will stick forward. Another thing, if your spring is really weak in here, this is actually a fairly firm spring, you'll want to replace that. I've heard that an AR-15 disconnect spring is about the right size. You need to trim a couple coils off to make it fit, but that can be a replacement. Just an AR-15 disconnect, there are probably like 100 billion of those things out in the world. So, okay, so I'm going to go and push the takedown button, put the bolt back in with that little piece of paper. It should, there we go. All right, and our firing pin is sticking forward. Let's go ahead and put a mag in. This is live ammo, so a little caution there. Don't want to be doing this a whole lot. So we're going to go ahead and push, and go and get the mag back. We're going to push forward, and you'll see that it won't go. It won't go into the chamber. And what it is that firing pin, let's see if we can see it there. That firing pin is preventing the cartridge from rising into the bolt cavity, and it just won't work. It can present different times in different ways, but that's generally what it looks like. So let's get this out of here. And then take a look at the bolt. Now, there are a couple things with the magazines as well. You can load 6 cartridges in, and that can be a problem. But if you load the magazine up, you want to load it like so. We'll get 5 rounds in. These rounds have been cycled a lot, so that's why they kind of look rough. And you want to push down on the back and let it snap up a couple times. There we go. And we see that the top round is risen. That's kind of how you want to put the mag in. You want to always put the mag in on an open bolt. So you push the mag in, and then pull down, and then push forward. That seems to be the best way to go about it. But that firing pin thing with the firing pin sticking forward is about the most common issue. If it can't pull all the way back, you're not going to get that mag to cycle. For proof, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this piece of paper out. So you now see our firing pin. Our firing pin is moving freely forward. When we push forward, it moves out of the way. So let's go ahead and pick a round up. And we'll see it goes right into the chamber. I'm not going to close it all the way because, again, I have ammunition. Next round. Same story, picked it right up. Okay, and that's how it's supposed to cycle. As long as that firing pin is back and out of the way, it should pick the round up and the round should go into the bolt face. The other thing you might want to check is that the bolt face is clean of debris and lead and things like that, and again that the firing pin moves freely back below the face of the bolt.